In today's episode of Naqadam Balu, you will learn a popular Eritrean or Ethiopian dish called zignidorho, or chicken stew, and zignisiga, or meat stew. You will need 2 large cooking pots, 20 red onions, 2 garlic bulbs, 2 pieces of ginger, 2/3 cup of canola oil, didlach, berbera powder, esmi, 2 mature chickens or hen, 2 pounds of lamb or beef without bone, 5 pounds of lamb or beef with bone, salt, and canned or fresh tomatoes. First, you will peel and chop 20 red onions into large pieces. 10 onions will be for the zignidorho, or chicken, and 10 onions will be for the zignisiga. Honestly, I don't know how our moms do it all the time. Peel and finely chop 20 cloves of garlic, again 10 for each pot. When chopping your garlic, use oil to help you chop without the pieces flying everywhere. It just helps stabilize the garlic on your cutting board. Next, you will need 2 pieces of ginger, about 2 centimeters in size. So just like the garlic, you will peel and finely chop the ginger. Now my preference is that I do all the chopping the night before and store it in the fridge for tomorrow. So I separate 1 bag for each pot, tzabh and tzabh siga. So with the largely chopped onions, put the onions in the grinder and chop into small bits, but not as fine as the garlic and the ginger. You could also chop with a knife, but ain't nobody got time for that. So yeah, same thing, I would store them into 2 different bags for the 2 different pots. Now, with the meat, personally, I'm a big fan of lamb, but beef works just as well for this dish. So you'll need 2 pounds of meat without bone, and you want to cut it into small cubes. Next, you will take 5 pounds of meat with bone, and cut off excess meat that you can add on to your small cubes. You want to have you want the bone to have some meat to bite into but not too much, and that's why I say cut out the excess. Again, this is a personal preference for choosing mature chicken or hen over regular chicken, but either should work fine. The most important when dealing with chicken is to give it a very, very good scrub down with lemon and vinegar. I can't stress to you how important this is. If a chicken is not clean, you will taste it in your food. So it's really, really important that you scrub it down well. With the Eritrean culture, there is a certain method in how to cut chicken into 12 pieces. Please click here for the cutting chicken for Zigni video. So these are the final 12 pieces, and because there was 2 chickens, there's going to be a total of 24 pieces. So you want to set up your 2 pots on your stove and set your stove to low heat. And dump your onions into each pot. Add 1 tablespoon of salt to each pot. And you're gonna stir the pots for 1 hour. Make sure you have nothing to do on this day because you're going to be stirring quite a bit. Take some fresh tomatoes or 1 can of crushed tomatoes and boil them. You'll use them later on. Add 1/3 cup of canola oil to each pot. Again, you're gonna stir for another hour. So by this time, you've stirred for a total of 2 hours. Next, you're gonna add 2 large spoonfuls of dilligh, or sautéed berbere. You can find this probably in your local Eritrean or Ethiopian store. Next, you'll add 2 tablespoons of powder berbere to each pot. How much of the berbere you add to your dishes will depend on how spicy you want them to be. And again, you're going to stir for another hour. The point of stirring for these hours is to make sure the berbere doesn't overpower the dish. And as you're stirring, just add little drops of water so the berbere and the onions won't stick to the pot. So to one of your pots, you're going to add the meat with the bones first. So next you're going to take your little bags of ginger and garlic and add them to each pot. You're going to add 3 large spoonfuls of the boiled crushed tomatoes. Add 2 large spoonfuls of tasmi. And you can check out my other tutorial video on how to make tasmi. And you're gonna stir for another hour. Next, you're gonna add your small cubes of beef or lamb into the pot where you put the bones in. So this is your pot for zigni siga. And in your other pot, you're going to add the chicken. And this will be your pot for zigni durho. So again, you're gonna stir for 1 more hour, and this is the last hour, I promise. This is optional to add hard-boiled eggs into your zigni durho, the one with the chicken. It's part of the traditional dish. So this is your final zigni siga, and this is your final zigni durho. So I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial, and I hope you've learned something. And if you have any questions, just leave me a comment below. Thanks for watching. Bye.